going on, everyone? My name is Ghiman Mckinney, or you can just call me Juice because that is my nickname. In my humble opinion, I believe that when we look back at the 2020 NFL Draft, there will be a lot of whiffs among draft picks. I'm talking a lot of busts. I'm talking BUSTS, busts. A lot of whiffs and a lot of draft busts. And I will tell you why that is. Listen, this virus has caused an isolation period among people. A lot of teams are not able to do their normal due diligence on players. They are not able to meet with guys the way they would have liked to. A lot of people cannot see the players up front in person. They have to use Zoom. They have to use FaceTime. A lot of players' pro days got canceled. So a lot of teams had to kind of juggle some things. They kind of had to adjust. Personally, I have to adjust to this new lifestyle. I'm kind of not used to staying in my house a whole lot. It's allowed me to make a bunch of content for this podcast, which I like, but online classes at times can be an adjustment as far as college goes. But either way, I digress. That's beside the point. A lot of teams are, really struggling because they can't do their normal due diligence on players. And personally, I think that's kind of baloney that this is the case because, listen, you got 3 to 4 years of tape on these guys. Okay? Watch the film. Don't overthink it. You know who's good and who's not good based on the film. I think that we pay too much attention to combine numbers. We pay too much attention to pro days. People said Johnny Manziel had one of the best pro days ever. Johnny Manziel is a bust. He's not that good. Sam Bradford had one of the best pro days ever. Sam Bradford is an injury-prone quarterback and was way overdrafted. Okay, so just because you have a great pro day in shorts and, throwing a wide open target, I would hope you look good doing that. Everyone is raving about Justin Herbert, who actually got a chance to, perform at his pro day before this whole virus kicked in. Everyone was saying, look at Justin Herbert, man. He's throwing flat-footed, from the 0-yard line to the 60-yard line. He threw 60 yards flat-footed. Man, I can't wait to hone that potential. Have you watched the film? Have you watched the tape? Because Justin Herbert is an erratic quarterback. I've compared him to a McDonald's commercial and a McDonald's burger simply because I think that Justin Herbert is a tease similar to a McDonald's burger and similar to McDonald's commercials because you see on the screen those burgers look juicy, they look fat, they look tasty, and then when you actually buy the burger, I'm not trying to bash on McDonald's because I do think that McDonald's is a very good restaurant, but isn't quite the same burger that you envisioned when you saw that picture. And I really feel that people are going to get infatuated by buying that stock when it comes to Justin Herbert. They're looking too much at the physical traits and his potential, and they don't value substance. I guarantee you that if Justin Herbert doesn't get the right coaching, if he doesn't get the right players around him, he will fail, okay? And same with Jordan Love. Tua, I feel kind of okay about him, but there's a lot of questions that I have about these quarterbacks. Tua, as far as the injury concerns, Jordan Love as far as the decision-making, and even Tua Tagovailoa did not play well versus Georgia last year, did not play well versus Clemson last year, has looked mortal on an even playing field, and Justin Herbert, he's just a wild card to me, and I do believe that Justin Herbert has some serious buzz potential. And I do believe Jacob Eason needs to land with the right team. So outside of Joe Burrow, I got questions all over the place. And again, the reality is that NFL general managers screw up all the time with all the information. The Chicago Bears, it was obvious. Pick Deshaun Watson. Pick him. Don't pick Mitch Trubisky. And guess what? They picked Mitch Trubisky. And I just shake my head at those things. I feel that general managers at times try to get too cute. They try to get the next big thing. And they just overlook what is obviously in front of them. It was obvious Deshaun Watson was the most pro-ready NFL quarterback. I'm not saying he's the best right now, from that draft class because Patrick Mahomes has taken away and ran with that thing, okay? I actually don't ridicule the Bears for not drafting Deshaun Watson, for not drafting Patrick Mahomes, excuse me. The reason why is because I felt Patrick Mahomes was going to be a good quarterback wherever he went. I was all in when it came to Patrick Mahomes. but I said that he needed to go to the perfect situation to maximize his talents. And I do believe that he went to the perfect situation in Kansas City. He went to an offense that was tailor-made for his skill set, and he got to learn behind Alex Smith for a year or two. And that has allowed him to become the most talented quarterback ever, not named Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion. So he went to the perfect situation, and no one could really predict that Patrick Mahomes would be this good. I felt that Patrick Mahomes would be good, but not this good, okay? 50 touchdown pass, good. Did not expect that. So I won't ridicule the Bears for that. But see, I've said in the past, one of the reasons why I think that no one ridicules the Houston Rockets for drafting Hakeem Olajuwon over Michael Jordan, the reason why is because Hakeem Olajuwon was a darn good basketball player. He's one of the 10 to 15 greatest basketball players ever. He won 2 championships. He won MVPs, okay? He was a great player. And while the Houston Rockets did not get the GOAT, Michael Jordan, they at least got a safe pick. They got a reliable option, and they did not swing and miss. When you're picking number 1 overall, you just don't want to whiff. You at least hope you get a franchise-changing player that's at least solid for your team. You don't want an absolute BUM or a BUST. That's what you don't want. And unfortunately, the Bears, they did not get the Hakeem Olajuwon of that stick, because I do believe that Patrick Mahomes continues to play at this high of a level. And if he, stays healthy and wins multiple Super Bowls, he will challenge Tom Brady for being the greatest quarterback of all time. Okay? And while Deshaun Watson may never get there because he's just not quite as talented as Mahomes, and he does not have the support from the front office that Mahomes does, and he does not have the coaching staff that Mahomes does, that might be hard for Deshaun Watson to get to, that level that Mahomes has reached. But he can at least be the Hakeem Olajuwon to Michael Jordan of that draft. I mean, Dabo Swinney called him Michael Jordan coming out of college. I mean, the guy is something special. Teams whiff on players all the time when the information is obviously right in front of them. Look at the Cleveland Browns. They've whiffed on a ton of players, and they've been able to do their due diligence. They've seen the pro days. They've watched all the film. They've been to the games. They've met with the players, and they still whiff with all the information. You mean to tell me these dysfunctional teams that always whiff on players, that make questionable draft decisions, are going to make even less mistakes now with less information? I got news for you. A lot of teams are going to reach for players. A lot of teams are going to get exposed. A lot of general managers are going to look badly a couple years from now. I mean, let's be real. The smart teams are going to show who they are. The Steelers, the Ravens, the Packers, the Seahawks, all these teams that are well run are going to show themselves, because let's be real. A lot of, teams capitalize off of bad teams' mistakes. Example, the Jacksonville Jaguars traded away Calais Campbell for virtually nothing. The Baltimore Ravens fleeced him from the Jacksonville Jaguars. That was an example of a very smart team taking advantage of a team that just doesn't know what they're doing. The Arizona Cardinals, I know they're not the most well-run, team in football right now. They have their flaws, but Houston, what were you doing? I mean, Kyler Murray might become an MVP candidate, a couple years from now, all because he has DeAndre Hopkins on his team. And that was all due to Bill O'Brien's stupid, dumb mistake, and he didn't get even a first-round pick back for DeAndre Hopkins. I'm just saying, a lot of teams capitalize off of bad teams' mistakes. Example, the Golden State Warriors. They drafted, a lot of teams could have had Steph Curry. 6 or 7 teams could have had Steph Curry in that draft. Ricky Rubio was taken over Steph Curry. And guess what? When Steph Curry got the right coach, when he got the right, team around him in the NBA, he went on to win multiple championships and multiple MVPs. I'm sorry, Blake Griffin's a great player, but looking back at that draft, I think the Clippers would have rather had Steph Curry over Blake Griffin. I'm just saying, and I think that a lot of teams are going to reach for players. A lot of teams are going to be scrambling on draft night. A lot of teams probably have not done their full research. A lot of teams are complaining, saying that they need more time. And that's just not good, man. We're going to see who's the winners. We're going to see who's the losers. And we're going to see who reaches for these players. And a couple years from now, we are really going to see what the NFL draft of 2020 was really made of. And I think there's going to be a lot of busts, a lot of reaches. And again, these quarterbacks, I really have questions about them. Outside of Joe Burrow, Tua's got injuries, did not play well versus the elite defenses when he was in college. Jordan Love has mechanical issues. He has issues as far as reading defenses. Justin Herbert has the same type of issues. And Jacob Eason, he's not as mobile as those guys, and he has some of those same issues. But man, I just feel like there's going to be a lot of busts in the 2020 NFL Draft, and a lot of teams are going to be looking really silly a couple years from now. Be sure to comment where you agree with me and disagree with me. Love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows, or if I fall short of that goal. I would love to work for a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.